I think you are one of the few people who started it off right in the beginning when only
1983.
individual practice was in vogue.
Yeah,
Now I
1983.
think this concept, yeah, so that was a long time back, 1983. But now the concept is picking up because everybody wants shared responsibility. Everybody wants to have adequate time for themselves rather than just focusing on being able to be in the hospital and delivering patients. So that is another interesting thing I wanted to ask you and talk to you about, that what made you decide that you have had enough of work and you want to focus more on other aspects in life?
So Arjun and I are classmates. We met when we were in medical college, and he's 9 months older than me. I always tell people that we were made for each other. He was born exactly 9 months before, so that I was born. He was Arjun, and Gita was made for Arjun. So everything, the stars really worked for us. And when he turned 60, and then 9 months later, I turned 60, we were having a chat. That's one of the good things, Rajesh, about our between Arjun and I, is we love to sit and talk to each other. We were talking and we said, you know what, we have only about a decade left. And I don't mean that we're going to be dead, because people can die at 50, they can die at 67, they can die at 95. A decade to do things that we can physically do, which we may not be able to do much later. So after a lot of thought, because there are several things to this. I was 61 when I retired. As doctors know, you're giving up an income, a full income. And, quite frankly, all of us make reasonably good money. We thought about it and we said, you know what, as we grow older, we are going to be able to eat only one or maybe two meals a day. Other things come in, other ish situations come in. Luckily, we're very healthy and we wanted to stay healthy. And we thought about that. And I also realized that I looked back at my life. As far as my profession was concerned, I had done everything I wanted to do. I had taught, I had written books, I had written textbooks, I had written non textbooks. My Passport to a Healthy Pregnancy is the number one bestseller for pregnant women in India right now. All this while I was practicing. I had done all kinds of surgery. I came to your workshops. I learned by the time I had finished my career, I had done everything that a gynecologist can do. I was also a trained gynecologist. So, no regrets. Done fetal medicine, did a lot of fetal therapy. So, there was everything in my life was fulfilled. So I said, I can keep on doing this. I can keep on delivering more people. I can still continue to do surgeries and hysterectomies. But what happens to the rest of my life? What about me? What about focus on me? Because again, when I worked, it was with blinders on. It was focus, focus, focus on medicine. So one of the things we talked about was, when somebody is on their deathbed, they never say, oh, I wish I had done three more hysterectomies. Oh, I wish I had delivered 1,000 more babies, right? They're going to say, oh, I wish I had used that time to go get some more experience. I wish I had traveled. I wish I had done this. There are so many things that people at the end of their lives have regrets. And and Arjun and I wanted to be in a place when we get older where we have no regrets and saying nothing has been not done. And that's why it was a tough decision, no question about it. And I don't think everybody should do it. People are amazing at their work and they like to. I know people who have worked till they're 85. The other thing, Rajesh, which I always tell people, is you have to start about the second half of your life when you're about 40, 45. You can't at 60 say, I'm going to stop practicing, because 99% of people, if you ask them, I talk to any doctor, they'll say, I don't know what to do. What will I do at home? Well, I'll get bored. So Arjun and I created interest, learned interest. We did so many things that we brought into our lives, which are enriching our lives. So it's been, come December 31st, it'll be 9 years since I have uh, stopped medical practice. I won't use the word retired, because I haven't retired from life. I have just reinvented myself. And I don't know where those 9 years went. 24 hours in the day is not enough for me. That's because I think, there is a Japanese word called ikigai, and it says waking up with a purpose. So every day I know I'm going to do this, I'm going to have this, I have schedules, and that's very, very important. So if you're going to think about bringing a stop to whatever you're doing, whatever lifestyle you have, and you want to switch to another lifestyle, have options. Give yourself options, learn new things. And I think it can be done. I think it can be done.
That's actually one of the things which I really have picked up from you, and I am thankful to you for that. Because when I came to Progress, when I started interacting with you long time back, that was a time when I was always having a dilemma because I was focused only on gynecological laparoscopy, no obstetrics works, no OPD, and you encourage that. Fine, if you like something, then stick to it. And fortunately, I have been able to stick only to that specific work of doing laparoscopic surgery, not doing anything else, and it somehow it has clicked, it has worked, and I'm really happy with it. My working pattern is now 9 to 12. So morning 9 o'clock I would start my clinic OPD plus OT. By 12 in the noon I am free. So 2 to 3 hours of daily work, and the rest of the day I am absolutely free to think, to plan, to try and figure out what new to build upon, and it works beautifully. Plus the fact that in the last 1.5 years, COVID has further made, I guess, not only me, but I think it has made almost every doctor rethink about their perspective regarding their profession as well as their personal life. I think, as far as I am concerned, it has definitely made me bend a little bit more towards personal life. In fact, in the last 1 year, I have made a significant attempt to become healthier and fitter with the weight
Yes.
loss program, getting joining the gym, and becoming a little more self-aware of how fit I am. Though I
Right.
guess that really does not apply to you. You and Dr. Arjun have always been so fit and healthy. But it does So I think that really has helped to restrict and to plan and to think. In some ways, I also have that thought that why unnecessarily keep on operating constantly? And very truly, what you said holds true, that one would never regret about not having done 100 more hysterectomies, but one would rather regret not having gone to different places, not having visited different areas, met more people, had more vacations. I mean, that I think would be the simplest thing to want to do.
Right. Because I think the one thing we did as far as our children was concerned, right from the beginning, because I think all obstetricians face this: 24 hours is not enough, especially women, because they have to take care of the children, the house, and you have to be available 24/7, right? 365 days a year. So we realized right in the beginning that we wanted to spend more time with our children, cut off all our other social engagements, everything which any time that I was not in the hospital was with the children. And when we used to go for conferences, luckily Arjun and I used to get invited for conference right from the beginning. Every time we went to a conference, there were two things I would do. I would quickly find out what there was to visit around that place. I would take one extra day, whether it was some architectural, temple, or whether there was a waterfall, and we would take our children along. Because, and in those days, you used to travel by train. If you went to a small town down south, you had that much time in the train to spend with your children. So we focused a lot on that kind of a thing, and speaking to each other, trying to understand each other, find out what your children did. So these, I think, this is very, very, very important. And one of the things that a lot of people are talking about is, right, as physicians, we make much more money than other professions. There's no two ways about it. What do you do with that money? You can buy several houses, you can buy several diamond necklaces, you can buy any number of cars, BMWs, Audis, whatever, but you can't take it with you. Okay, and the end of your life, what you can do is you can enjoy the experiences you bought with money, and money is the best utilized for experiences. And we have
Very true,
traveled,
madam.
yeah, we have hiked, we have traveled, we have, I mean, just 3 weeks ago, I don't think we should have done it. I'm going to be 70 in another 5 months. And we went down a very tough trail. Okay. In Kodaikanal, we went down to a waterfall 3 kilometers and then we walked up again. It was very tough, but I will never forget that. Okay. And nothing else matters. And I think physicians have to start doing that. You can't keep your blinders on, and you have to, when you're working, you have to be focused. There's no two ways about it. But when you're not working, try to find other experiences, find out how to live life. And as you said, Rajesh, health is very, very, very important. Okay. Genetically, we are all, as Indians, we are prone for diabetes, hypertension, heart disease. Do everything to avoid it, at least push it away, right? Exercise, walk. And people say, I don't have the time. You can find time. Time is something, that's where teamwork comes in. That's where relegation comes in. And I love the way, love what you have done with your life. I don't think there are many doctors who work 9 to 12 and have the rest of the time to figure out what else to do. And I think it also has made you what you are. The amount of teaching you have done, the amount of reach you have had, and it's because you focused on your passion, and the rest of the time you took to see how much more you can develop.
Yes, but this is really important. Like I said, no, every time I talk to you, there is always something new which I get to pick up. So what you just mentioned, that money cannot be used to buy happiness, but it can be used to create experiences and to create good memories. And that's really a beautiful concept and a thought. It's really worthwhile thinking of it from that perspective, that ultimately you are not going to take it with you. And how much can you accumulate and how much can you give away? So you need to
There
spend
is
it on you.
there is very definite luggage allowance, Rajesh. In the final journey, there's a very strict luggage allowance. Nothing can be taken with you. Okay. And at the end of it, and the other thing people say, oh, I have to leave it for my children, I have to leave for my grandchildren and my great grandchildren. Hello, give them an education. That's what we did with our children. We said we gave them a phenomenal education. Both of them went to the US for their undergrad. My daughter went also to Harvard for her post graduation. But I said, that's it. That's where our financial support stops. Post graduation onwards, you have to take care of it. Okay. Or we can help you out, but you have to pay it back. That's not because we are stingy. It's just it helps them stand on their own feet. And both of them have done extremely well. Coming to that, I must say this. There is this attitude that if I have a hospital, if I own a hospital, oh, my son has to take it over. If my son had to take over my hospital, there'll be very many dead patients, or he would have slit his own throat because he hates the sight of blood. He hates it. So, what we did was we watched him. He was very, very creative. He went into art. And people used to ask me, my colleagues used to ask me, ma'am, what kind of a career will he have? Will he be able to, and I was like, it's not my job. It's my job is to give him what he wants, what he wants to do. I should facilitate it. And beyond that, he will stand. He's done so well. He's done so well. So that, and so did my daughter. She is very much into, see, the thing is, as doctors, we do pass on this concept of being able to help people, and our children imbibe that. My daughter works for underprivileged people for education, for children. She's totally focused on it and doing that extremely well. So that's all you can do as far as your children are concerned. Don't try to make them come and run your hospital. Don't try to make them do any particular career, so-called career, which will ultimately make money. Let them choose what they want to do and let them find happiness for themselves. You don't owe them happiness. You owe them certain boundaries, certain what do you call it, aims, and you can teach them this is right, this is wrong. Beyond that, they have to find their own happiness.
Yes, that is really so true. And I think it's not only for your children, I think you have imparted the same thing to almost every person that you have come across with, including me. I mean, to be able to get happiness or to be able to do things that one likes to do rather than just being forced to practice or work or earn money, because that really does not ultimately serve any purpose in the long run. To a certain extent, yes, money is relevant, money is important, but as you rightly mentioned, even now, for doctors, it's really not going to be a struggle in life at any stage of time. And beyond a particular limit, then you have to figure out what are your priorities in life. So speaking of priorities, another thing I wanted to really listen from you is, how do you get around to writing so much? Regard.
Yeah, it's like when you play the piano, how many hours of practice do you have to do? Lots and lots and lots of practice. So I was very determined that I would bring out textbooks when I was. See, you have to be a little crazy, I think, to be successful. Okay, you have to be, and you know it. You are a little crazy because you do so many things. But what happened was, Professor Arul Kumaran asked me if I would edit Management of Labor with him, which was amazing. I was so thrilled. And I edited it with him, and that's where I got my feet wet. I learned how to do that. It was a lot of effort. And then I brought out a practical guide to obstetrics, where I had a lot of people contribute. And then Professor Lakshmi Seshadri of CMC, she was kind enough to invite me to write Essentials of Obstetrics, which is an undergraduate textbook. And now it's what I'm hearing is it's becoming one of the staples in the medical school colleges now. So it's a lot of work, especially when, and I wrote a lot of it before I retired. After I retired, I have brought out 3 books, but before that, I had brought out 4 books. And it is a question of carving out time. You have to. You can't everything, even while you're working and after you stop working, you have to have the ability to schedule your time. Okay, you have to be a Nazi towards yourself. You have to say, this is the time I'm going to spend, this is the time I'm going to spend on my children, this is the time I'm going to spend on my patients, and you have to work it out. I have spent, sat up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I also, as you know, progress close to 1,000 delegates. And it was just our hospital staff and I who did it. We had no event managers, and we used to do everything ourselves. So it's a question of what you, as you said, it's all about priorities. It has to be done, it will be done. And you cannot, I think you have to be a little harsh on yourself. And that's where that's where I said, okay, enough is enough. I have achieved all that I have wanted to, and now I need to do other things with my life.
That is really nice, but somehow, no. I mean, whenever it comes down to writing something, or when it comes down to being able to get myself to do something which I do not really enjoy thoroughly, it becomes very difficult. So I suppose that is another aspect. You must be loving to write more so about the book which you have brought out for women, not about the medical book. I wanted to ask you also about your publications, which have become very popular of late. So what made you get into writing these general books for the
See,
public?
passport to a healthy pregnancy came from a whole program that I had in the hospital called Passport to Health. I was very focused on not just the deliveries and the hysterectomies and all that, on women's personal health. I started a program in our hospital called Passport to Health. A woman would come in, we would do a passport, complete sit and work with her, and then we would give her a health horoscope. I say, your blood work shows this. So this is how, and we had a nutritionist, we had exercise in the hospital. We used to have exercise classes. So it was a holistic approach to women's health. And from there, I realized that women, sit and ask me so many questions. If I take iron capsules, will my baby be black? Now, this is a question across India. Okay. And how many times do you keep saying this? And I said, okay, I am saying, giving them the right answer. I'm telling them that you don't have to have saffron to have a fair baby. You don't have to worry about taking iron. I said, why not reach as far as I could? Okay. And that's when the first edition came. And it was so popular that we went ahead 5 years later and brought out the second edition. I think I'm ready for the third edition, should be coming out now. It's 5 years since the second edition. It's a lot of work. I hate it. I hate the discipline required to sit there, and I get very stressed out because I know that I have deadlines. I have deadlines, but I have had excellent editors, both for my textbook and for my this thing, Passport to a Healthy Pregnancy. And yeah, you have to you have to push yourself. There's no question about it.
It's really nice to always interact with you and converse with you, madam. And there are a lot of comments which have come on various media. Anita Soni, one of my colleagues from Vadia Hospital, is also remembering you, as well as Dr. Alka Patel. It's really, you have really touched a number of lives during your medical professional career, as well as even now for the public, I would say so. And it's been a pleasure to have you here with us. And I look forward to meeting you again personally soon.
Thank
I,
you,
I
Raj.
hope I hope this has been a comfortable session for you also. And I can see that you are in a very nice setting. I think you are again enjoying a nice break and a vacation.
Not a vacation. Arjun and I say, we have been on vacation for the past. He's been on vacation, so-called vacation, for the past 5 years, and I've been on vacation for the so-called vacation for the past 9 years. Yeah, this is a place that we have in the Nilgiris. Again, I love it because I do so much gardening. That's the other thing I've learned. I have learned how to smuggle plants from abroad, and now somebody is going to arrest me for sure. So I bring lots of plants. I have amazing. I have amazing gardens. So yeah, this is something which keeps me going. Yeah. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you, Rajesh. And don't say you didn't come to Progress. I had you speak at Progress. One of my young doctors who spoke at Progress.
Yes, yes, that's what I said. I mean, I have been coming to Progress for quite some time, and it's
Yes.
really been wonderful. And I think we should be able to end our session now. Thank you very much for the interaction today, madam. And I sincerely again look forward to meeting you personally.
Yes,
Perhaps,
Rajesh.
perhaps
Post
in your.
pandemic, post pandemic, come here, come to the Nilgiris. I'll give you a good time.
I would look forward to that. Thank you very much, madam, and thank you for all the participants who have been viewing the program with us. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.